Oh no, they got you crazy, bro.
What up, bro?
What's good? You can hear me?
Yep.
Not bad. Let me see. Let me fix my mic, my cam. Oh, it's not plugged in. Aha. What you shooting? Hoops?
Yeah. Some light jumpers. Some light mid-rangers.
Okay. There you go. Book it. We
What you say?
live. We live.
The levels is good.
Levels is good. Levels is good. So you know it's the
Yeah, so go ahead, I'm listening.
I was gonna say, you know, it's the 100-year anniversary of Greenwood.
Green
Ooh, don't do that. Don't do that. What you say?
I said is that the subsidiary of to Redwood?
Oh man, Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street.
Nah, I know what you was talking about. I'm just talking about for the one or two people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just dropping some breadcrumbs to get them. For the cool people who don't want to ask no questions, you know what I'm saying? You might have dropped that. Might have been people
What
like,
that
oh,
be?
yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Greenwood. You know what I'm saying? Kept it pushing.
I heard you. So you sent me quite the agenda. Let's get into it, good brother.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I want to know what's happening with mosquitoes. Do they transfer COVID? Like, I don't understand nobody talking about that. Nah, I want to know, kid. Like, we got
Do mosquitoes transfer COVID?
Yeah, like why are we not talking about it? Mosquito season is about to be upon us, yo. I mean, I guess not that it matters, right? Because we back to business. So whoever they're just assuming everybody's gonna get it, and if you survive it, good. If not, good riddance, right? That's the kind of time we on now. So
Nah, I'm with you, man. I didn't even think about that. Like mosquitoes definitely is a problem out here with COVID.
yeah, man. So you could be doing everything right, you still get got, man. Just like now, you know what I'm saying? Like there's people who wear masks all the time. You know what I mean? Our safety, you know, to the T. They still get caught out there.
Yeah. They said people who even have vaccinated, wearing masks, staying in the house still get COVID. You know?
Yep.
I mean, maybe not staying in the house.
But I'm saying it doesn't matter if somebody's leaving your house and you could be doing everything, but all it takes is one person to just be out of line. That's why I think the COVID season in regards to coaching gave you so much instant buy-in because of what was happening in real time. Like, yo, everybody has to be accountable. Like if you was a coach during COVID and you was able to push your players to win, or you wasn't, you suck as a coach.
Big
You got the
fact.
storyline for buy-in. If you
Big
ain't
fact.
know how to maneuver that into some wins, you deserve to get up out of there.
Speaking of coaching, we don't got YB today.
I don't know what's why be moving and shaking around, man.
Yeah.
He might you never know. He like Batman. He might pop up on the live before you hit the elevator or something, man. To the Bat Cave. I don't know.
Merci beaucoup.
Word. And then I was saying that when we talking about then I had another revelation. The first revelation was
Shit getting deep. Hold on. Revelations. He was on a mountain.
yeah, the first revelation was that just because you black doesn't mean we can sit at the same table and talk about equity the same way.
Yeah, what happened? What happened?
Nothing happened, but it's just like, I just nah, but I think that we have to be. Everybody talks about being intentional, being authentic, and so my first revelation was that we'll get into that after this. So yeah,
okay.
just because you black doesn't mean the conversation you having with equity in regards to with me, you might be able to talk equity with with other black people or other African American, but you can't sit down and talk equity to me and we talk just because we're black, we're on the same level, right?
But wait, when you say equity, because this is the part that confuses me.
Yeah.
When you say equity, I hear a monetary value. Now it seems like when we talking about equity, we're talking about a different kind of value.
I mean, I mean, we talking about value. I think it's depending on who you're talking to. That conversation could be about numbers and cents, and then that conversation could be about, you know, energy and a source to the information to learn how to navigate, you know, the world and life, you know. So
okay, so I feel like you in that sense. I feel like you. If we're not talking about numbers, then we're not talking about the same equity, even if we are trying to talk about value. That's how I feel. But anyways.
yes, so I agree. But
Yeah.
then the
I was
revelation
agreeing with
beneath
you.
that, or like, you know what I'm saying, getting under the iceberg, you know what I'm saying, like the reality is that this equity conversation is for us, our generation, Generation Z, is the new affirmative action.
Right.
Where it's not going to be, you can talk a lot, but there's no really way to scale the metrics of hope and change. You can use civil unrest as distraction and movements towards progress, but ultimately all of these, you know what I'm saying, diversity, equity, all of this push is going to be the, you know what I mean, until the next one happens. But this is it. We're in the throes of the new affirmative action, just with the butter.
For sure. But yo, yeah, you saying you had revelation. So that was the start. That was the meat of it, or that was like the.
I mean, I just think equity. Every commercial I hear, everything that, you know, that I'm hearing on the radio, or every ad is about, you know, things that people that I'm associated really live. So it's like CB4. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like
performative. It's performative.
Yeah, it's like, you know, everybody, the new CB4 is the God's work and the nonprofit work, and not to say the new, because the church is, you know what I'm saying, the first testament of getting to the money. But
Yeah.
but I mean, now, like, you know, we've been said the nonprofit space is like the church, but now with social media and everything else, like giving back, people know there's a value in regards to being seen doing the right thing. And it's not foreign now because, you know, all of the work, you can make yourself be seen. So I think that kind of, you know, sullies the water sometimes in regards to intent. And then if intent is not aligned with, you know, then the impact is going to be off. But it don't matter, because the impact could be off. But if you get 20,000 likes, you know what I'm saying, like, you able to, but then become an entrepreneur, which I think is also being able to monetize, you know, yourself. I think that's a positive as well. But at what cost? I think that those are the things that we gotta, you know, when we talk about the NBA, the high school PSAL, kids are going to be able to start getting paid. You know, we talked about it before, paid for their likeness. You know, but if that's is going to be, how are we preparing those kids to really operate in that space of getting paid, still being in school, still being in the hood? You know what I'm saying? What are we really setting up? Because those are the conversations that when these things drop, nobody talks about those things, because they know, just like the equity conversation, is that as long as we're able to pick, you know, a couple kids to put through the program, because no matter what, the kids who will be able to get paid are going to be 1%, you know what I'm saying, 2% of kids playing high school ball. If it's not just, if it's related to basketball. Now, if they've learned how to be, you know, characters, and they know they got their energy, then they'll still be able to make bread. But nobody's having the conversations. You know, everybody just talking equity. Everybody's talking equity, and so now it's becoming like the authenticity. You got to be authentic. You got to have equity. You know what I'm saying? Like, these words are not going to have any substance by the time, you know. And I think that's part of it too. Like, the overusage is just to make them become, you know, less substantive to the movement, and more just the regular vocabulary, so we can get back to things as normal. You know what I mean? Equity. You know?
Well, hopefully people will come to a point where they can assess energy with a little more. I mean, let's just pretend that let's pretend for the moment that we, as Black people, as a Black state, let's just pretend we're a Black nation. right? Let's pretend we have some kind of infrastructure, some kind of leadership, right? If we can pretend to have that much, then we can chart a path forward. We could say, okay, so we have a collective of 48 million people in America, uh, billions elsewhere, but whatever, let's hundreds of millions elsewhere, but let's just focus on those of us who are here in America because we are clearly the most victimized, right? Let's put the energy where the need is the most, right? So, what do we need to move forward in order to ensure equity as a people, as a black state, as a black nation, 48 million people here in America? That's where we would have some kind of footing. That's where we would have some kind of beginning. But we never do that. And the times that we do that, and the times we do have leaders who do that, they get killed. Or the movement gets hijacked or co-opted. But more often than not, they get killed. So like a good example of operating off of something that has no foundation, but everybody buys the marketing, is the Black Lives Matter movement. Everybody just bought into that. Nobody was like, wait, is this from us? Is this ours? You know what I'm saying? And then the lady who probably gave the most sweat, blood, and sweat equity to it, she gets jammed up because people found out that she bought some proceeds, which is like, it's interesting on so many levels. But I would suggest if we're going to talk about equity, we should talk about equity from within a black state of mind and then go out. Like, what do we mean by equity? Fam, we still don't even have we don't have any identity outside of an American. This is not our language. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta frame equity properly for us. We can't. So let's just say we go into the conversation that everybody else is talking about, and then it's just like this elusive thing, like, oh well, we'll make sure you're represented in these conversations, and then a year later, the conversation isn't even about us specifically anymore. It's about general equity, and then it's like we're working to make sure. A perfect example on the vineyard is a lot of race and diversity conversations get diverted to the Brazilian population, which is valid. They got the numbers, they deserve it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, whoa, what happened to the conversation that started it with us? Like, we're barely even included, and that's a lot of research, a lot of attention. So now, race and diversity on Martha's Vineyard is more about the Brazilian population. Meanwhile, the black year-round population is dwindling.
And do you think that that's because like that's a good that's a good media cycle rather than talking about the old story? It's something new, and the person who writes the story is like, yo, well, we're still talking about discrimination. So we're still helping, but just in regards to get every what I'm saying, get all of the markers checked. Let's go with the Brazilian story because this is what's trending. Like I think people fall susceptible to it. Even on a rock.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is a healthy news cycle. I also think it's a lack of a news cycle from within like we don't think in terms of a state, in terms of a nation, in terms of a people. Like we haven't fashioned our minds to think about us first. We think from this American framework, which is strange. It's like Stockholm syndrome. It's not healthy. I think you're frozen. I'll take this opportunity to flash that connectiveinc.org banner.
Probably assume that I'm at any of the
You just cut back in. All I heard was probably assume. And now you're in a... Oh. Uh-oh.
All right, relax. I'm coming up right now. Relax.
You want me to drop you out and
Nah, this real life. Wait a second.
Who's that? Natai?
Natai. Hold on. Just wait a
What
second.
happened?
Wait a second. Take a deep breath and walk up the stairs, please. Sage. All right. You want to put your shoes on and come outside? All right. Come here, Sage. All right. Just relax yourself, please. Put yourself together and then put your shoes on. Come here. No, I didn't finish it. Cool. That's all right. You come outside or come grab her shoes. Bring her shoes for me, please.
Bye. Bye, Sage.
Can you grab her shoes? I want to say. Stop grabbing me when I'm on the steps.
Bye. Bye.
I said, wait a second. It's not when you want to do things. Relax yourself. Yeah, I was.
Oh, they got you again with the fees.
Huh?
Okay, now you in.
I said, do you think they have like stories on an island that are dedicated to like the Black or Brazilian population? They should have writers or people of that ethnicity or of that culture to probably tap in and tell those stories.
They got that. They got Miss G, JG. I forget. I don't know if she was here for you, but she writes a weekly, I think.
Oh, it's fire.
And but their community is strong here. But even aside from that, this is what I'm saying. The Brazilian community here, they have numbers. They're here. They're well represented, but also they have a whole nother language and a whole nother flag and a whole nother country.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They have a whole identity already. Like when you think about Black people in America, we don't have that connection with Africa like that, and we should, but we don't. It's damn near a whole different group of people in a lot of Americans' minds, which is that's the tragedy of it. And low key, it was I don't want to get too much into the politics of the slave trade, but it gets deep. So I don't know, brother. I'm just trying to express the disconnect within the Black infrastructure. Like I don't know what will work for America or the Portuguese. Like I'm not sure that they're the ones that need the work, So at this point, I see the Portuguese as not the Portuguese, sorry, the Brazilian population here as major allies for us. Like that's folk. But then it's interesting because you don't really know when you speak in terms of like allies, you don't really know who are the, oh, you dropped out. All right. So for those of you who are watching this, I'm going to take this moment to commemorate the 100-year anniversary of the unfortunate destruction of a district in Tulsa, Oklahoma called Greenwood. If you're familiar, Greenwood was also known as Black Wall Street. Some of my students don't like that because they think Wall Street is malevolent, but It was called Black Wall Street because of the sheer number of the businesses and the success of the district. Now, Greenwood had over 10,000 residents, over 30 supermarkets, over 30 plus restaurants, dozens of doctors and dentists and banks and schools and hospitals. You can Google it and look at the pictures. 10, I mean, it's basically the size of Martha's Vineyard in the off season with way more grocery stores, restaurants, way more business. It was a booming society that unfortunately in 1921, today, 100 years ago, exactly to the day. So you already know, if you believe, if you can connect. 100 years ago to the day, that community was, pardon me, I was just giving them the Tulsa Greenwood knowledge, because anytime you can link in with
this one is forward.
The whole narrative, our the ancestors. So 100 years ago to this day, May 31st, Memorial Day. Greenwood had more than 10,000 people. Like I said, 30 restaurants, 30 plus grocery stores. Just imagine how 30 grocery stores, that's a lot. Dozens of doctors, dentists, banks, hospitals, schools. And then on this very day, 100 years ago, a mob of white folks, I don't know if they were celebrating Memorial Day or whatever, they heard rumor that a young black man was harassing a white woman. They went, they burnt down the whole district, over 300 people. And Greenwood would forever be known as, it was called the race riot. Grew up in Tulsa. So Greenwood for a lot of people, and then Black Wall Street for a lot of other folks. Black Wall Street became kind of like a myth. I didn't even believe that it actually happened, but you can Google it and look at the photos, hear testimonial. And there's some wonderful scholars who risked their lives to uncover the story, because what is the events of Greenwood were suppressed by local media and federal government. So for over 50 years, people tried to, it didn't happen. And so scholars, researchers, they risked their lives to make sure that the heinous acts of the mob killing 300, but also destroying community, remembered in history. Now, not only did that happen in Tulsa, obviously, if you just do any research, 1921, I believe that was the Red Summer. You just Google how many race riots happened where, you just, as a map will just light up. It wasn't the only thing that was destroyed because of jealousy or envy or whatever. And so this is what the black community has been going through for a very long time. But just imagine, this is in the last 100 years. This was 100 years. There was a woman who testified before Congress last week. She was 107 years old. Her voice was crystal clear, beautiful. And she remembered. She was 7 years old when it happened. She testified before Congress. So they're having discussions about reparations and all this other stuff. They had an opportunity 20 years ago, Tulsa, Oklahoma, to engage in reparations for this community specifically, where not even reparations for slavery, just for what they did in 1921. But instead they gave them a gold plaque, gold-plated plaque, something like that. So that is the history, the wake of the incidents that we are in today. For those of you who are interested in it, I'm going to pop up more in the news cycle, but I would suggest taking a deep dive in a book or two so you can get the actual stats and the real vibes. It was a tragic, heinous moment that I believe it was called the Red Summer. I think maybe the Red Summer was 1919. But either way, it was Very close, 19. So that's it. I'm gonna step up off that soapbox. Yeah, how you doing? Damage control, all right? I hope I don't know if that's your Wi-Fi, but I hope it's not mine, because then I'm gonna be sounding crazy. I'm gonna just pause you and then bring it back once I see some movement on the screen, because it's just frozen right now. I shared Greenwood with a lot of my students because we're doing reviews for Green Weeks, and Greenwood is one of the things we learned about in Green Weeks. But I always like to check in just to let people know where we are historic. Oh, okay, there we go. Can you hear me? Man, there you go. So yeah, there was a few things I wanted to bring up today, but I can't remember right now. I had a very powerful couple of days. That's what it was. So in thinking about how to serve as a public servant, it's important for me to always operate from what's as close to true as possible. Like I'm going to be wrong a lot. I'm sure of that. But I know what feels right, and I know how to adjust so that I can get as close to the truth as possible. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It doesn't even matter to me anymore. But what I can't do is to pretend that I'm in proximity to the truth when I know I'm not. So why am I saying that as a public servant? Because, pardon me, this drives me crazy when this happens. There we go. I'm saying that because I feel a good amount of pressure, a good amount of good pressure to help in this moment. We are in a transition period. We are converting our energy from what was let's call it the Great Meditation. Some people call it the pandemic. But we're converting whatever we worked on during that great meditation / pandemic, or whatever we didn't, whatever seeds we planted and nurtured, or whatever we neglected. Now we're reaping. We're converting all of that into this new thing. And so I'm hyper aware of what feels true, what resonates as righteous for me, and what doesn't. And so I see a lot of activity that is detrimental. And I just want to say, as a public servant, I feel like I'm not trying to judge nobody, but I'm saying, like, if what you took out of this whole meditation is that you need to run outside and just poison yourself and just, give up, or just live it like there's no tomorrow type of, finesse. And if what you took out of this whole meditation pandemic is to just bounce back out and do more of what you were doing before you went into it, then you're essentially just crying for help. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think we have to be truthful about what we're doing. So if you're coming out of this great meditation and you just want to party, then that means you actually want to talk to somebody, like you want to feel more connected with your true self, because that's not you. I don't know how else to say that. I'm not trying to judge. It's just like I know everyone has experienced this different. I know I don't have kids, for example. If I had kids, I might be listening to this like, what are you talking about? Like, all I wanted to do this whole time was get outside. So I'm really not trying to judge. I'm just saying, like, for those of you, put it like this, for those of you who can hear what I'm saying and you're not offended by it, and you do feel like, oh, yeah, this doesn't feel like me. Like, I didn't want to just go to Miami and get wasted. Then it's not too late. It's like the perfect time actually to convert all of that energy into the right thing, into what's going to get you. Because the work for people like me, I spent this whole time just trying to be comfortable in my own skin with who I am without the hype. So I'll just be very personal so you can understand what I'm saying. I promise you I'm not trying to judge. For me, it was hard to understand who I was without my work rate, without my work ethic. Because so what I did at first was I was just like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna everything I wanted to do that I couldn't do, I'm gonna take full advantage of the time. And I just went into workaholic monk mode, which is also desperate. That's me saying to me, I don't know who I am without adding another value to this. I need to always add value, right? And that comes from some kind of childhood trauma, I'm sure, of wanting to be everything for everyone, which is a poverty mindset, like what you have isn't enough. Oh, I'm gonna get a house for Nana, I'm gonna get a house for my mother, I'm gonna protect everybody, and oh, I'm gonna be the success. Think about how much of what we consume is, oh, I want to be the most successful thing so that I want to be the savior, that expresses you're not happy if that's how you're not balanced is a better way to put it. Now, don't get me wrong. I love to strive for things. I love to challenge myself. I will always work hard and have fun doing it. But when you don't know who you are without that, then you're not in proximity to your truth. Like, in truth, as a kid, I loved to just go outside and catch snakes and jump bikes and play in the woods and go to the corner store and stuff like that. Like, I wasn't trying to save the world every day or save my community every day. I was playing. It was playful. So there's that part of you still needs to breathe. It still needs to be. We're not just success machines. That's weird. And we fall victim to that. So this is what happens when you fall victim to the success machine model. When you're not burning yourself out, you're feeling guilt because you're not doing something. So you're just never really present for yourself. It's like, oh, I need to burn out. I need to go hard till I die. And then it's like, when you just need a day to R&R and just rest and relax, you try to do it, but you're also just not happy with yourself because there's something you could be doing. Even right now, there's mad emails I could send. I'm like, why am I? But once I can recognize that, I can check it and I can say, oh, I'm just having a little chit chat with my folk. And that's, there's a childlike innocence that you can recover if you work through seeing yourself. Like, really seeing yourself. So now I'm at that point where I'm like, I'm seeing myself as a public servant, and the best way that I can operate in that space, which is healthy for everyone, is if I'm my healthiest, happiest self, and the way that I'm that is checking in with the truest form of me. All right, and then it's like, I'm going to be wrong a lot, but I can just give you what feels like the truth in the moment, and you do with it what you can, So I see a lot of people, the work hard, party hard strangeness, which is coming out of this pandemic or great meditation. It's bizarre to me. That's not the collective energy I want to be a part of. Hopefully I'm way off and that's it. And it's just time for everyone to let their hair down. But for me, if someone were to ask me what would be the best way to transition from the pandemic to back into some sense of routine, because it can't be normal, I would say take every day as it comes, find what makes you happy and healthy, and do those things. Try to rest as much as you can, drink a lot of water, eat healthy, make yourself a good vehicle for the right energy, because maybe you notice, maybe you don't, but coming out of this pandemic or meditation, energy is heightened. Time is accelerating. The perception of time. So it's important for you to be clean and clear-headed, so that you can feel. If you're not, put it like this, if you're drunk, if you're numbed out, you can't feel. So if you can't feel, you don't have like your GPS. That's great if you just want to get lost. It's not great if you want to go anywhere specific. That would be my other piece of advice. Figure out where you want to go. All right, so I'm not going to talk anyone's ear off. Coach E bounced out, and I believe his Wi-Fi kicked out. It is Memorial Day weekend. I don't expect too many people to be locked in on this, so enjoy yourselves. It's gray, but I see some kind of sun trying to punch through. Let me just think real quick if there's anything else I want to share while I have this opportunity. Yeah, I think that's it. If you haven't had a chance, go to connectiveinc.org. Show some love to the Pope. If you comment on Facebook, I really wish I did a better job of getting to Facebook, but I don't. So it's best for you to go to YouTube and leave comments there. I don't even do a great job of checking comments there, but then again, there's only a few. So just so you know, it's easier on YouTube than Facebook. But I'm going to go there now and see what we got. So have a great day. One love.